Hey guys, so now that we can equip and unequip weapons, what we also want to do is create function for changing weapons. So let's say you have one weapon already in hand and then you equip different one. What happens is it will attach it to your stow socket, and then when you try to equip weapon again, it will first play the unequip animation and only then it will equip weapon. So we don't want to do that. What we want to have is when you change the weapon, it will put away the old one and then equip the new one. For that, let's go to player blueprint. In event graph, I'm going to create new custom event under this, so somewhere here, and this will be custom event, and I will call it change weapons. And first thing we want to do is get gameplay tags, and we're going to add gameplay tag. And this will pretty much be the same action as we're doing here, which is changing weapons. So character actions changing weapons, and this event we don't actually need to check if we need to execute it because we'll be calling it when we're switching weapons. So first add this gameplay tag, then we're going to play that macro that we made, which is play unequip, because first we need to unequip the weapon we have in hand. Combat type, we will now use the current combat type, which is the combat type set from here when we equip weapon. So it will be correct combat type, because if we equipped sword and shield, for example, it will be sword and shield. So we want to play unequip for sword and shield, which will play this montage. And then when it actually outputs, so here on notify begin, when we stow weapon, instead of unequip weapon, this time we want to get our attached actors map array. So attached actors, and we're going to find, we will do short for loop, so just regular for loop, and we're going to do first index 0 until first index, so main hand and off hand, and connect this one to index, and we'll find both of these weapons, and we're going to check if they are valid first, so check the validity, and if they are valid we're going to destroy them. So drag from here and destroy actor. And the reason why we're not doing the same thing as here after unequipping, which is unequip weapon, because we don't want to actually attach it to stow sockets this time, because we have different weapon that we're going to equip, so we want to just destroy them and then we will spawn the new weapon. So after we have destroyed these two, we're going to go from completed, do branch, and now we basically want to equip new weapon. So again, we're going to call the function that we made, which is get combat type, because we need to know what weapon we have currently equipped or what weapon we're equipping, which is the new one. And I'm going to check if it equals enumerator no weapon, because if we equipped, for example, shield only and we don't have main hand weapon, we don't want to continue equipping, because we need to have a main hand for actually equip any weapons. So now after we check this branch, here on top, if it's true, if it's no weapon, we want to get gameplay tags. And I'm going to remove gameplay tag, and this will be the changing weapons. Actually, one sec, I think we're removing changing weapons here in this play unequip. Yeah, so when this montage is completed, we are removing changing weapons action. So that is fine, we don't have to do that. Let's just, while we have this remove tag, we can remove the weapon equipped. So go to checks and select weapon equipped, because weapon won't be equipped anymore. And after this, we just want to set this current combat type to no weapon, just in case, so we reset it, even though every time we're pulling out the new weapon we will check it and we'll set it, but this might prevent some issues later, so just set it. But what we also want to do is, if we just unequipped, if we basically had no weapon, that can mean that we have only offhand equipped, so any offhand dagger, for example, or shield. And what we want to do is we want to attach that shield to the stow socket, because if we just change it, we're not doing it anywhere, so it will disappear, we won't have it on the body. So here we're going to create new function, which we can just duplicate, probably the unequipped one. So Control and D to duplicate it, and this one will be unequip offhand. And I'm going to put if valid, just so it knows it's only if it's valid we're going to unequip offhand. So if you have something equipped. And here we don't need to do this. We do want to check if it's valid class, and then we also want to check if this actor is valid, because it might not be spawned on the body. As I said, if it's just offhand, it might not be already in hand. So we're going to check is valid, just regular is valid, and if that's true, then we're going to attach actor to component. We do have it set here already for stow, which is where we want to put it, except for we actually need the main hand, offhand, sorry. I'm going to switch this to delete the first one and get this one, because this one has offhand slots. Paste it, add it here, connect the item type, and if it's not valid, we want to also spawn it, because that means it doesn't exist. So we want to spawn that offhand, and we'll do spawn actor from class. Class we have here, just connect it. We can hide unconnected pins here, and then return value we first need to add to this array. So attached actors, get it and add this map one, return value goes to add, and index is 1, which is our offhand. So we're creating the new reference, and then we attach actor to component. Technically we should be attaching this one, but then since this one is connected and here we update that map array, we will just get it from here. It will work because it's after, so it already contains this one here. So this is it. We don't need the second part. This is only for offhand. And again, we're only doing it for offhand because if we actually have main hand equipped, we will just be equipping main hand. This is only if we need to stow it, so if there is no weapon. Spawn actor is giving me trouble because we don't have transform, so just make transform. This is a bit messy. I'm going to move this down and move this here and just put like 500 to transform. Compile and save. And now here I need to change it to 1. Don't forget this, because this will be getting main hand, and here as well. I should have used the second part. So 1, 1, 1. All of the indexes of the offhand. And here is stow offhand, stow shield. And go back to event graph. Do have a lot of stuff open here. I'm going to close everything else. And then just get this function, and we will call it before this one. So unequip offhand if it's valid. So if there is an offhand, and if it's false, so that means there is any other combat type, so I don't know, weapon and shield or two-handed or dual wield or anything, so we want to equip it. For that we again need to play the equip montage, which is the macro. So play equip montage. Combat type, we're getting here the new one. So this will be the one we want to play. So again, it will go to montages here and select it based on this combat type, which montage we need to play. And after it's completed, so after we spawn the weapon, we want to this time call that function equip weapon, which will equip it to hand. And then after we have spawned it, we also want to save this combat type as a current combat type. So later when we're equipping it, sorry, later when we're changing weapons or something, we will have the current combat time again, so you can connect it from here. Then I'm just going to double click and redirect. And again, here in display equip montage on completed, we are removing gameplay tag, which is the action changing weapons. So we will be able to execute any other action after. So that is fine. And now we just need to call this function. So for that, let's go to attach item and remove attached item. So those are the two functions when we're actually changing weapons. And here we want to do it on all of the weapons and bow. So first we're going to drag out the, close this, variables, gameplay tags. And I'm going to check if it has tag. Yep, has tag. And this will be weapon equipped. So if we have weapon in the hand currently. Exact match we can do here as well. And then we will do branch, move it up here, and then just hold Control and drag all of these in here in this branch. And head, actually we can disconnect and connect it back to here because head doesn't matter, it's only for weapons. And then if this is true, if we have weapon in hand, we need to call our function, which is change weapon, change weapons. Move this down. Alright, and if it's false, we're just doing what we were doing before. But if we currently have weapons, what we don't want to do is we don't want to add it to array, because we're using this array for unequipping weapons and then we're changing the socket and stuff. And if we were to rewrite it here, that means we wouldn't be able to change those weapons because the reference would be already the new one, not the old one. So we need to skip this whole part and just go to change stats. You can redirect this. And in change weapons, basically we're handling this anyway, because when we're changing the weapon, we're unequipping the one we have from this array and everything, and then we're creating new array, so we don't need to do this at all. That's for attach item, and now we also need to do it when we're removing item. So go to functions, items, and it's remove attached item. There we go. And in here we need to do something similar. Before we destroy these actors, we don't want to destroy them if the weapon is equipped, so get gameplay tags again, has tag, and it will be character checks weapon is equipped, branch, and again hold Control and drag this to the branch, disconnect head, connect head to destroy actor, and if it's not equipped, false, we go to destroy actor as before, do an exact match here, even though it shouldn't matter. And if it's true, we're going to change weapons. So anytime we basically change any weapons, we will do it here. And then, even though we're not destroying actor, we want to still remove the attached equipment info, because we anyway just created, we're switching the weapons basically, so we don't want to have the old one there. So compile and save. And I think this is pretty much it. So now I'm just going to print string here and write changing weapons to test it out when it's actually calling this. And it should be calling it twice when we're changing the actual weapon, because we have it when we're attaching weapon and when we're removing weapon. So let's say I'm going to put this in quick slots as well, so we can see it better. All of this, and I'm also going to get one of the offhands. So now let's say I have bow, I equip bow, and then I change it to two hand. I put away bow and I drag out the two hands. If I use sort. I put away two hands and drag out the sort. There is a little bit of blending issue with the animation, it's going a bit too fast. We'll fix that in a minute. But then if you equip shield, that's fine. I'll put away the sword and equip sword and shield. That's working fine. But then if I remove the main hand, that means we shouldn't be able to drag out any weapons. So just this. I put it away and then attach shield to the stove socket because I don't have any main hand, so I can't equip any weapons. Alright, so that's working fine. And it actually looks much better. And now you have to equip the weapons, which is working fine. You can put it away, equip it, you can change weapon, and it will always put away the old one with the correct animation and then drag out the new one. It should be well proofed for like errors, so you should be able to spawn everything like this, and then just wherever you land, that will be the last animation. So I equipped shield first, so it actually unequipped it before I equipped anything in the main hand. So just to test it out again, I will land on some weapon, so I can spam this, and then last one will be weapon, so sword. Cool, so that's working fine. Let's just fix these junky animations. So I was actually wrong to add initialization for all of these montages, because the problem is we also blending it with body when we're running. And then what happens is, I've noticed when I was testing it out, that if I run with the bow, for example, and then equip sword, there is that kind of like, it's very laggy. You can probably see it sometimes with the camera and everything, and he's trying to like straighten out, and the arm is going behind and stuff, and that is because it's trying to use the momentum with that inertialization to actually blend it properly. But it's going to be better if we don't do it, because these montages actually have good blend out time, and then we are like blending it with the body, as I said. So we're going to select all of them, and I'm going to right click, go to asset actions, asset actions, and the matrix I was looking for last time is in edit selection in property matrix, blending option, and we're going to change this to standard on all of the montages, not to inertialization. Okay, standard, save it, or save all. And now let me put it in the quick slots again. So I equip weapon, I change it. So see, there is no that lag, it's doing it very smoothly. Putting it away. Right, so that's working very nicely. And that is pretty much it for this video. So we can now change the weapons, and in the next one or in some of the videos in the future, we need to change it so we wouldn't be able to actually either open inventory when we're doing some action, or not able to change this when we're actually in the middle of some kind of action, because what might happen, we will be actually dragging out these weapons, and then we can like drink the potion in the inventory, and that will overwrite it, because we're not checking if we can execute that action. So let's say you drink potion, you're playing animation, and then you change the weapon, and it will play change weapon animation, because here we're not checking if we can actually execute it. So we'll prevent that in the future video, but for now it's working as intended, so that's it. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.